The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetit. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip, and across the way, I got CB on the one or on the digital screen. How are you, CB?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, it's a new day. It's Monday. It's a brand new week. I'm going to forget about what happened yesterday. And I mean, we have some exciting news that came out, and then we also get to recap a really fun weekend.
Yeah, we've got a great episode for everybody listening at home. And if this is your first time tuning in because you want to hear the Michelin tea, well, don't worry, you don't have to wait long. But before we do that, let's touch it base with Queen Evitha. How are you, QE?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm making it slowly but surely. You know, same shit, different day. Monday, fun day. We are bypassing the Michelin reception this evening. I don't think we were invited this year after we took a big pile of shit on some of their decisions and picks last year, and this year will be no different. So we are not attending the reception, but we'll probably attend the after party after we get done recording this, get this uploaded on the internet. So I'm having a really nice Monday, much better than Chris, because I had a kick-ass Sunday and Saturday, Friday, Thursday, all of the things. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty of this week's episode, we would be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to our sponsors over at Pine Melon Market. If this is your first time listening, then you need to be your first time shopper over at Pine Melon. Pine Melon works with 200 plus local purveyors from across Colorado to bring their grains, their fruits, their vegetables, their meats, hell, just about everything you can find under the sun, they have available, and they deliver your groceries right to your door. Obviously, they have things that go beyond the square state of Colorado, your pineapples, you know, your fish, all of the things. I get my tinned fish on there every now and then. They've got a wide selection of everything, but they prioritize working with local businesses. And they're also working not only to make sure that you get a fair price and bang for your buck with your groceries, but if it's your first time shopping, you can use promo code STONED, STONED, for $60 in free groceries. The only rule or restrictions apply is you have to spend $65 just to make that juice worth the squeeze. So go over to Pine Melon, get your first order in. They deliver across the Colorado region, or Front Range region, especially in the Denver Boulder metro. It's wonderful. And it's not just for consumers anymore. They're launching their B2B platform. So if you're a chef or a restaurateur, maybe you're looking to find a specific cut of meat. Maybe you're looking for fucking bison fillets and you want to shop local. They're there for you too. Reach out to them directly through email if you're a restaurateur, and they'll get you lined up and squared away so that you can go shop and still use promo code STONED for your groceries. All right, Chris, as you alluded to, big news out of the Colorado food scene this morning. The Michelin star, or the Michelin Guide, has announced their stars, their bibs, their recommended, and their place restaurants, which is, I think I said them in order of first, second, third, and fourth kind of tokens that you get in terms of accolades from the Michelin Guide. And we talked a little bit about it last week when I was doing my fantasy football draft. I was a little buzzed up, but we weren't sure, you know, who was going to retain, who was going to maybe level up and get a second one, or who may join the group at 1 star. Well, we know today that everyone that had one last year retained. And shout out to our buddy, Chef Johnny, guest of the podcast, being named Best Young Chef for Colorado, and his restaurant, Alma Fondafina, right there at the 5-way clusterfuck of Lohi, is now the newest honoree of a Michelin star. How fucking awesome is that?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I mean, the place hasn't even been opened up for a full year, has it? I mean, maybe a full year.
I think we're talking like 1 year exactly, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So that's incredible for someone like that to go out on their own, start something like really new and exciting in that space in this city because we haven't really had that like super elevated Mexican cuisine that focuses on a region and things like that. And
Do you
so
think Francois and My Neighbor Felix will try and sue Johnny to get their star, or do you think they'll just let sleeping dogs lie now?
I think they're just pissed they let a good cook get away. I mean, what a bunch of idiots.
I mean, shout out to Case over there. I mean, the whole team at Alma deserve all their flowers and accolades. I mean, they absolutely slay it, both in terms of front of house service, preparation, and as you said, they're doing something a little different with their cuisine and being an elevated Mexican restaurant, not necessarily your La Lomas of the world, but actual thought provoking meals, not fajitas on a platter with fresh, puffy flour tortillas. I'm not going to throw too much shade at La Loma, but
Yeah.
Alma definitely deserved their flowers. And I thought when I saw that, I was like, holy fucking shit. Like you said, under 1 year. I mean, goodness gracious, they came out the guns blazing. We even asked him what the fuck was he thinking when he just opened a second one. He saw the writing on the wall.
And I think really, really and truly too, what makes like Alma Fanafina so great too is the location. I mean, where it's nestled there, I don't know, that whole like what they've done with that space. I don't know, it creates like an even cooler vibe, which I mean, as you know, I think like everything goes into getting a star, whether it's the ambiance, the cooking style, things like that. So all that plays a part. And I think it's a great addition to Denver.
I think it's a perfect addition to the Colorado Michelin star program because, like we said last week, all the other ones are priced so far out of the average, even a fucking foodie. Like most of those restaurants that have the star, they don't need influencer marketing. Shout out to the PR firms that just peddle that shit. To give away free meals to get their, like the word out about their restaurant. But you don't see a lot of folks eating there. Like it's almost got to be like a treat yourself once a year spot. Whereas Alma is much more approachable. Yeah, it's still very much refined, both like you said, in their approach to ambiance, the cuisine, their cooking methods, the service as well. But being able to go in there and eat there more than once a year, I think really shows what I would love to look for in a restaurant, like a place you can visit. If you're visiting, you can hit it twice. And it may be a
Yeah.
little more difficult getting a reservation now with it being like a 50-seater or 40-seater or whatever. But at the same time, the price point that
And
pairs well with that decadent food is what really tickles my pickle that they're starting to show that because I feel like the Michelin showed
well,
that with the Mexico City one where they gave the taco truck the
yeah.
the star as well. I love that they kind of they gave us a little approachability.
I mean, I was, I'm super pumped for them, but I was thinking they were going to fall into that bib gourmand
Yeah.
category here, just being, you know, relatively new, as we say, maybe a year in, a little over. So that's where I thought they were going to fall in. But I mean, that's got to be pretty stellar. I'd be on cloud nine if I was on that team.
Yeah, and we're going to go show our love to Johnny and Casey this evening, go give them a congratulatory joint, things of that nature. But at the same time, you're exactly right. Last week we were carrying flags for restaurants we thought could make the jump, whether it goes from bib up to the star board. Someone like your Olivier's, I thought Hop Alley was in that conversation with what Jeff Cox was doing at the chef's table, and then Tavernetta, obviously. But some folks, everybody has different tastes. It worries me with the Michelin Guide folks because they don't really have any fucking parameters to any of their situations.
It doesn't,
None of
yeah,
it makes sense from if you're trying to figure out like what the guidelines are for these inspectors. None of it makes fucking sense.
like I think probably the only category that makes some bit of sense is the green star. Like that represents sustainability and things like that. Cause like, if you're a restaurant that focuses on that things, you're either doing it or you're not really doing it that much. So that seems like a clear guideline, but the difference between the bib, obviously the 1 star, and then now like the kind of, the recommended status, it just seems like those go everywhere.
Yeah, and the bib is what makes me really kind of question the inspector's opinions because you spoke of maybe Alma is doing something that has not been done at least in our community with the high end food, but places like Lucinia, Chef Roz is fucking killing it out there
Yeah.
in Park Hill, and he's doing he and Diego are doing Latin cuisine that's not Mexican, and it's exceptional, and they can't even get the nod for that. Same could be said for a Sapsua, who is doing
Yeah.
approachable yet refined. And we'll give them their flowers in a minute and talk about the Bon Appetits. But it just baffles me that we continue to see the Live Moss Taco Bell Cantina. Like they were so complacent with their bibs. They deducted AJ's, they left everybody else the same, and then they added our friends over at MacFan. Shout out to Ken and Doris. Congratulations. And congratulations to all of our friends for retaining. But it feels like they are not really doing full due diligence. And if they are, it's like buckshot with a shotgun. Like they're just spraying everywhere to see what sticks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Mock Fan being in Bib Gourmand. I mean, I think there's a bunch of other ones that can be up there, like
A Brixton.
Point Easy. Yeah, Brixton could be in there rather than just being one of those
A recommended. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the recommended is just fucking nuts. Also, it's fucking hilarious. Dushanbe Tea House Boulder is in there. And like the only reason you go to there is to see that building. Like, because the food
It is gorgeous.
the food is absolute trash though, dude. Like I worked there. It is absolute trash. But I mean, like, so I don't get that. And like, Olivier's down there. Some of those really nice restaurants that I think the Bib Gourmand thing should have gotten shuffled around a bit. I think there should have been
I
some
agree.
movement there.
I agree.
Because I think with those restaurants too, sometimes like we heard a while ago, AJ's, they're doing some other things, and I think their pitmaster is getting pulled in all sorts of different directions. And so when you're working on these kind of restaurants that are a little smaller and that back of the house is really tight at the moment, sometimes things disrupt that. And so to see no movement really in that category, it's a little strange.
No, I agree. And I feel like this one gives the most flexibility because of what the broad definition is. And I'm not going to back the truck up and poo poo on the restaurants like I did last year. I mean, I think everyone knows I have a disdain for Mr. Oso. It fits beautifully into Rhino, right next to the Patagonia and the Burton stores and things of that nature. But it doesn't honestly have a place, at least at my table, on the bib list. Like, put it in with the recommended, but I can count with 15 fucking fingers places that I would have thrown onto that list of dining and approachability using, quality ingredients, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we're talking about fucking Frito chili pies and, fake foliage on the ceilings, and it's beating out places like a Lucinia, a Sapsua. Like, if there is a gradual ramp up, what does a Hop Alley or a Tavernetta or a Basta have to do to get to that next one? Or is it just a crapshoot? Is it all just falling on deaf ears and it's based off of just, it sounds like somebody with an Instagram page is like picking these fucking restaurants. I mean, sometimes it really does make me wonder on the bib board. That's
Also,
the one that confuses me the most because fucking Softus remains a recommended. Whereas, I mean, Ashkara apparently is, like killing it. I'm just like, it kind of baffles me. I don't have any questions about the stars. A lot of them make sense. Like the rationale is there, but
right.
with the vague description or like, I don't know, qualifiers for the bib, it just baffles me a little bit. So I can understand AJ taking a step back, but I mean, did they take an opportunity to go eat at Pit Fiend? Was that place just like left? And like, why can't Jan Wonton? How did someone become a finalist for a beard and can't even get in because she has $15 fucking dumplings that you can grab for lunch every day? Like, if we're talking lunches, I think I would put her up there above 92% of the other bibs,
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't know. I mean, I also feel like bib should be a little bit of showcase of the area. Like, like people who maybe whether they're traveling or visiting another area and want to find out some like cool dining spots. Like, you don't want to go to Yelp. You don't want to do that shit. And so what I've done recently is look for bib gourmands because I thought it would showcase a variety across the city. And I think like that would be a better use. And this these select restaurants under it right now don't do that.
I feel like some of them do. Like I
Some of them
believe,
do.
like when our families come to town, Tavernetta is where you take your family. Hop Alley is where I take
Yeah.
mine. You know? Basta's got unbelievable pizza and whole fish. They have the whole gamut. Black Belly's kind of in that camp too up there. They got the green, but same, but different. And then like some of these other ones also have, just cause for being on there, but it feels like they're scared to like get out of the most bustling part of the city. Like, the New York Times wrote the article about how much money you have to pay to play the game. It's $100,000 3-year contract from the state of Colorado. Then each individual city or county has to pay between $70,000 and $100,000 on their own volition to have their restaurants considered. And it feels like the city of Denver or Visit Denver, somebody had a hand in like, hey, let's really prop up certain neighborhoods. Because I feel like if you had gone down fucking South Federal, you'd find some Mexican restaurants and some Asian restaurants that would knock the bottom out of their opportunity, and they deliver in spades multitude times, like Fodoy, a Savipa Thai. I mean, fuck. We could even get started on El Sampa Taquiera. We don't have to. There's just so many different spots you could talk about. And so I would love for it to actually showcase a little bit more of the city, because it feels like we didn't even go out to Park Hill. Like if we're not talking about Jan Montan and we're not talking enough about Lucinia, then we're not doing our job properly, because those are easily top tier restaurants, in my opinion. And as someone who pays for their meals and goes out and dines, whether it's publicly or privately, I feel like I rank them above a litany of the other ones we have listed. And that don't even get me started on some other things.
Also though, why can't we get any bakeries in some of these categories? I'm not saying like you need to claim like pastries and things like a restaurant, but you can have a meal at these places. And I think some of these bakeries in town should warrant some kind of recognition.
I mean, that's a spot on opinion. I think Bakery 4 would be the first that comes to mind, because it's in Denver proper. And Sean has not just like done, sourdough croissants, cronuts, sweet treats. They've gone deep into the savory pocket. I saw that brisket little puff he had this week. He's done pop-up dinners as well. And so it makes me think that these inspectors are, like, they're just kind of swinging in for a weekend as they go to fucking Kygo at a goddamn concert. And they're like, oh, what can we eat around the area? Or let's check out our favorite influencers page and see who's been giving them a free meal recently. That one's justified. That one got the most likes. Let's put that one on the bib list. Like, it baffles me. Some of these really baffle me. It feels like they were very unoriginal with some of the bibs. And like, it feels like if everyone repeated, then you didn't do your due diligence properly. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think Alma is very justified, but I think they wholeheartedly missed the mark on going into neighborhoods, communities, or restaurants that are represented by underrepresented, minority restaurant owners. Like, I could think of 60 places that could easily be in that next pantheon up, or even at least on the board, because a lot of them, they just throw everybody in the fucking recommended and then the place awards. So I was a little frazzled. I was fucking stoked for our boy Johnny and his wife Casey. They've gone through hell. They've gone through public bullshit. And they've grinded their ass to opening 2 restaurants, and a bar is on the way. And they deserve their flowers wholeheartedly. But that bib list really chaps my ass.
Yeah, not real cool. Michelin, if you're listening, let us know next time you're in town, and we'll
help.
We'll do right along.
I'll sign an NDA. I've signed 2 NDAs this summer already. What the fuck's a third? I'll tell you where you can at least go try some new restaurants. Like, fuck.
Or just I just want to get a dining scene from their perspective. I just want to kind of see what notes they make when they go somewhere. That's
It's
all I
probably
want to
they're
know.
probably drawing like little like hearts next to things on the menu they take out, and it's just really small stuff. It's almost like Rotten Tomatoes, like binary. It's like, would you watch this movie again or would you not? It's like, would you go eat there again? Like it doesn't have any. There's no. It's too fluid. It drives me fucking crazy.
Somebody
But
needs to leak that.
yeah, well, they may be listening. There's probably a reason they were like, no, we're not inviting those cunts back for year two. But we hope everyone at the reception's having fun. That's my personal opinion. I think some of these restaurants in town got robbed because the critics were scared to go down specific streets or go outside of specific neighborhoods. But to each their own.
Shout out to Sapsu on the Bon Appetit nod.
Now that's a fucking nod as
I
well.
think
Like
I,
there's
I think
politics
though,
being played in Michelin and in Beard. It feels like Bon Appetit's out here. They're like, hey, we're gonna go find dank ass restaurants and
well,
give them their accolades.
I think last year they were named as one of like the up and coming or thing to watch out by Bon Appetit. Or they might have been one of the favorites last year. I can't remember, but I know they got a little bit of a mention previously, and then I saw this morning where they got the like best new restaurant.
Yeah, I'm really excited for them. I think Bo with Molotov was on their list last year as well. That may have been the Washington Post, I can't remember. But shout out to to Nee and Anna because that place fucking slaps. And I'm glad to see that they're getting their flowers from national publications as well. I mean, I don't think they struggle keeping folks in there. I know that the neighborhood has welcomed them with open arms. Every time we go over there, I'm like, it's friendly priced. The flavors, it's herbaceousness, like the citrus flavors that they put forward. And then the cocktail program it's a walk in the park. Beautiful pairings, wonderful wines. I really enjoyed Sapsu, and I think Eve. Can we get an Eve input here? Eve, didn't you enjoy Sapsua?
I haven't been there.
Yes, you have. You went with Kip and I. We had like French fries. They made us a burger. We had.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
She's asleep at the wheel. Classic.
Eve, do you just not cherish these moments we have together, especially when we're doing something that we're all about?
No, I cherish the memories. Sorry. I was
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
a bit.
She was
accurate.
doing something. She was doing something else, and she's like, "Shit, y'all say my name?" And she had to run back to her desk. And turn off the camera.
It didn't click. But yeah, no, that food was delicious.
Agreed. But at the same time, if y'all have not checked out Sapsu on Colfax, that one is an absolute banger. And next year, I will guarantee it'll make a jump from the very large retained recommended or new recommended locations. What is it? Is it one of those? I can't remember. They gave it to like 75. It's like if Chris was in charge of soccer practice, everybody got an award. It's not even on the recommended. What the fuck are we doing here? Anyways, let's talk about something. Let's cool the jets. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And I'm very excited for my friends. So all the emotions. It's like
Denver
Inside
Food
Out.
and Wine.
Oh, man. Before we give a shout out to Denver Food and Wine, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Seed Money Consulting. If you're a restaurateur, a chef, someone that works in the hospitality, cannabis, or food industries, y'all need to reach out to our accounting firm based right here in Denver, Colorado called Seed Money Consulting. There's a new form that all small business owners have to file this year. It's a bitch. It's called a BOIR. I thoroughly recommend getting that puppy knocked out. But if you need some help navigating all these forms that people make you sign up for, the government's not to be trusted. But at the same time, it's always a cash grab. So make sure you have somebody that's in your corner. Reach out to our friends at Seed Money Consulting and make sure you have all your ducks in a row, not only for the end of 2024, but for tax season 2025. Let's talk about Denver Food and Wine. You want to start with Eve?
Yeah, let's start with Eve on this one. You got to remember a couple of bites you had.
Okay. I liked the wrap from Miss Betty's Cooking, which I think they said was vegan.
Yeah, with the avocado in the middle.
Was that you saying avocado?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it had avocado in it.
I thought they did. Theirs did.
No.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
No, they had potato in it, but I just remember it being like very, very flavorful. So that
Okay.
was good. Um,
Huh.
very
Shout out
simple,
to
but
Chef
like
Taj.
the candied bacon skewers from Abruzzi's Fire and Vine. That was good.
Ooh,
It was just like
ee.
the bacon with the cheese on it. It was very simple, but it was fucking good. And then the blue cornbread by Bakery 4, Brother Luck. Is that
Yeah,
right? Bakery
not
4?
bakery. It's Four by Brother Luck is the name of the
4.
restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
You were
that
kind of
was
hanging out
good.
in that vegetarian corner a little bit. I know where you were at.
I guess, but I made up for it with the bacon, obviously.
That's true. Yeah.
Um,
How many pieces of that bacon did you get? How many skewers you go back and grab?
I limited myself to 2.
Oh, nice. Portion control. I'm trying to work on that myself. And with this camera at a downward to up angle, it looks like I need to be working a little bit harder. I ate like a fucking fat ass this weekend. Eve, I love it. Which one was your favorite overall? The mezcal popsicle?
How dare you? Um,
You didn't get the mezcal popsicle?
I didn't. No, I couldn't find it.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry
should
to
have just
hear that.
asked the person, like, hey, where was that? Like, where exactly? Point me, but I didn't. Um, my favorite, I mean, those I just named were like pretty good. I don't know. I don't have like an ultimate favorite. I feel like everyone really did a
They really
great
brought
job.
the hammer this year. It really was fairly surprising. I feel like they continue to elevate the experience every single year. It gets a little bit, the food gets a little more like even decadent. Like I thought it was bougie as hell this year. Like the GA scene I saw caviar getting served everywhere. I mean, the ratio of food to booze was perfect. Like literally, it was like one food, one booze, one food, one booze, like all the way around both of the big tents. I mean, it was awesome. Chris, what were some of your favorite bites? Who were the restaurants you want to give a shout out to?
La Diabla for their little like
Corn.
yakitori grill with the kind of like baby corn.
Oh,
I didn't try the other offering they had there, but that corn was pretty damn good to start things off with. Um, and then there was, let me see, uh, I'm trying to think of the exact name of the place. Give me a second. Uh, I will say Manny's like short rib with the mole.
oh yeah. I
That
mean,
was really fucking good. And shout
that one
out,
was with the pork belly.
yeah, and I'll give shout out to Brother Luck too, because that cornbread like was very, very damn good. You could tell he used quality ingredients. That shit was fire. What else was good? I mean, Water Grills soft shell crab taco. I mean,
No,
not
crab cake taco.
was there crab cake taco?
Yeah, because it had all that the gooey stuff in it, like with the breading. It was almost like pull apart. Dude, that thing was so goddamn good. It was so rich. I like sat down for a few minutes after. I was like, fuck, that's a heavy bite. And it was paired beautifully with 6 pounds of white wine that I drank that was right next to it. I
Yeah,
thought that
and
was a good call.
Smokes tamale
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty damn good. I got a real good portion size of that. And that's another thing. I felt like this Food and Wine Festival, which I don't know why I couldn't go last year, but anyways,
You
um
went to the CU Nebraska game.
oh, that's right. This one was one of my favorite events of the summer. It was really well done. The food there, like the portions too, were really nice. And the one thing I liked that give a shout out to Denise and her team and everyone over there doing their thing. This didn't have as much food vendors that were just like some kind of big company that was like, like a cheese distributor or some shit like this. This one showcased restaurants. And
And
they,
local as
you,
shit.
you know
Like,
what I'm saying? Like if I had, all the big time mountain events, they're bringing in like big organizations that are providers. And so I felt like this one was a way to like taste real food that you might then later go out and taste across the city. Like it gave you a glimpse at a lot of fucking restaurants here in the city, and it was great.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I think, you mentioned, both of y'all mentioned it. It makes, me almost want to go down to Colorado Springs. I haven't been down there since Spencer passed. May he rest in peace. We miss you, Big Bear. But four by Brother Luck, I thought that cornbread, when he was like, and it's fucking vegan, I was like, shit, this is really fucking solid. But what I thought was even cooler was that all five of the top chefs teamed up with the Colorado Pro Start group. And so they had like high school students were working with these top chefs and these people that have been on Beat Bobby Flay and Chopped and all of this. They're working with 15, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, showing them how to make these badass dishes. I thought Byron's with that plantain tostada with the chicken and the what was it, like an herbaceous little topper on the as like an accoutrement. I thought that one slapped. Carrie Baird's was fucking awesome. I mean, all five, and Hosea from Black Belly. I thought that little pocket right there brought the fucking hammer. And they were doing something cool by working with high school students that want to get into the restaurant industry. I mean, I couldn't agree more on being able to, like, it was, I thought they knocked the bottom out of this event.
I forget over like a little adjacent to that big all-star corner was Lucinia's paella, which was fucking.
I couldn't agree more. I
They'd
got some
have
of the
that they I think
Crispies.
they had some like chanterelle. They had some mushrooms in there that was just wild and it was super good.
I mean, I'm a seafood slut. You know this. I know this. The guy at the corner who sells crabs out of the river, he knows this. I'll suck a D for a good quality crab dish. That taco that you mentioned earlier was awesome. And then the seafood paella that Roz was cooking, when you get those crispy boys, like the bottom ones, they scrape off the bottom of the pan. You really win the paella lottery. You can, because everyone's going to get a little of the shrimp, a little bit of the salmon, a little bit of the mussel. But if you get that crispy rice like I did, I was happier than a pig in shit, Chris. I thought it was wonderful. You're exactly right on that one. I thought Dave Hadley killed it over at Samosa Shop with the kind of like the chips. Like it's almost like the chips and then the Indian salsas and spices topped with a little bit of caviar. That was solid. And then who else I thought brought the hammer? Oh, Chef Josh Nierenberg from Ben 707 in Grand Junction. He brought those little, one of them was a tartine and the other one was a panna cotta that kind of set, but then kind of the heat got away from everybody. But
Yeah.
those little pastry dishes that he had, I thought were awesome. And then special shout out to Troy with the Wagyu din. He was just serving up caviar and truffles right to the fucking dome. I mean, just a preposterous day of eating. My ankles were swollen as fuck on Sunday.
Dude, and let's get down about the booze too with Mary McLean out there. Oh, I must have had like 5 of those drinks. That's where I got my buzz from. Because it wasn't like necessarily all the wine, but there are some good tequila, some good vodka brands out there. But as far as mixed drinks go, they were killing it.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the varietals between every stalls. And then like when you want to take a break from wine, they were out there serving cocktails over ice on a hot day. I mean, that umami flavored drink they had with, can't remember if it was tequila, and then it had like heirloom tomatoes on top of it. Chris, I could have drank 60 of those if I wasn't like so-called working, like trying to be presentable and talk with folks. That was so goddamn delicious. I sat under their umbrella and just had like 4 cups of it. The rate, I mean, they were letting you drink at your own volition out there, which everybody kept it in moderation. And then finished it off with some High West whiskeys, espresso martinis. I'm gonna make those this winter. I promise.
I want one. Eve, do you want one?
No, I'm good.
Nah,
All right.
we'll make a fire. We can sit by it. We'll roast mallows. It'll be fun.
Maybe.
All right, she's coming around. I think she
Yeah.
likes us, Chris.
We got to maybe Did you do anything else fun this weekend, Eve?
No, that day wore me out. It was a little hot.
It was a
Um,
bit hot.
but I think it was hotter last year, to be
I do
fair.
too.
Because there was a little bit of a breeze, but no, that was my weekend plans because I was tired after that.
I gotcha.
And totally understandable. Obviously, football is back. Broncos take an L. Kip's Cowboys take a dub. Your Falcons take an L. You should pick a new team. Nobody likes the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean,
Just because.
ever since that devastating loss in the Super Bowl, I mean, it's hard to come back from that.
To be fair, that's totally understandable. But I mean, we can't even get past the second round of the playoffs. I have no doubt this year will be no different. But at the same time, if you're not going to the games, I want to give everyone a shout out to go check out number 38. They do a half a pizza with an order of wings and other sides on a big pizza tray. So you get the best of all the worlds and you can order it. And it's like fucking huge. Like, and as the weather gets nicer, that patio is gonna be a vibe with those jumbo televisions. I saw that on over the weekend. I was like, God damn it, I want that. So the next road game, when I'm trying to post up, I'm gonna go find I got to go try that number 38 sports special.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we miss anything? Do we cover everything? Chris, any ways we can improve? I didn't say the C word today.
No, I think we covered everything pretty well.
Eve, how do you think we did?
Pretty good. Did you want to talk about, what was it, Shake and Break?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it.
Because I didn't go.
I'm glad you brought that up because Mile High Tiki Express food truck needs to be on everybody's fucking short list. If you see this food truck, I don't give a shit if you're driving your kid to soccer practice or you're on your way to rehab. I don't give a fuck. Stop and get this guy's food. He used to work with Urban Village down in Park Meadows Mall, the place that we've been screaming from the rooftops slaps harder than most. Not only that, but now this chef has gone out on his own and he's doing this food truck. He did this non taco, Eve. It was fucking excellent. It was so goddamn delicious. And the line was long for that one, but they had a lot of great variety at Shake and Break. And it started with Tikka Express. Fuck,
Yeah.
Mile High Tikka Express.
Dude, I want more non-bread type tacos. Those things were fluffy. Oh my God, they were so damn good. I enjoyed those thoroughly. And then Uptown and Humboldt had a delicious little it was
The
almost like an
halloumi.
arancini type dish. I'm trying to think. I should have wrote these down. Uh,
Yeah. While you think about that, I'll do the layups. Blue Pan was serving up full slices of fucking pizza. Oh my God. I had 4 slices of pizza and I was like, Chris, we got to get out here. I'm being a fat piece of shit. Like I was eating to my heart's content. And then Conjo's Ethiopian serving up that the red lentils as always with a little spice to them. And then they did their chicken and rice. Oh, it was so fucking good. Gosh, dang it.
yeah, that was a fun event. And it's just, it's at nighttime. It was a little cooler. Great cocktails from all over the city. That was a fun event.
I couldn't agree more. Eve, we missed you on that one. Next time you'll have to come to work with us on that day because by goodness, we had a blast. Perfect. Thanks, Kip. You're welcome, Eve.
Yeah.
We'll be back Thursday with a new episode. Don't forget, this weekend, Mayor Hawthorne is in town. If you like the Grammy winning artist Tuxedo, Mayor Hawthorne is spinning vinyl DJs down at Tetra. Our buddy Tetra, Dwayne, is hosting a fundraiser for the Social Equity Cannabis Group, backed by Shannon Donnelly and some others. So if you're looking to have a good time, catch a fade, and enjoy a good concert, go check that out. Grab tickets on their website, and I think they're on our website too. Besides that, we'll talk more on Wednesday. Y'all stay high, stay hungry.
Bib Gourmand. Subs.
Indeed, bacon.
Cheers. Candied bacon. Love it.